Have you been out driving this morning?
I have not. Jennifer did, but I hear it's a mess out there.
Well, it's a mess if you're not paying attention. But I'm a good safe driver, so I don't ever have those worries.
Well, I don't know if I would go that
The
far.
music does trip me up a little, I'll be honest.
This is going to be special, I can tell already.
If I can last, might need a nap.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome into Bacon in Your Mailbox on this Thursday, February the 24th, 2022, show 145. Greg Milby here, community storyteller. Jana Clark, community fanatic right there.
Hey.
And we welcome you in. I thought you said you were tired, and then all of a sudden you just got really energetic.
Well, so I am, but I hear the music and I'm like, oh yeah, woo, let's go. Yeah.
Good. I like it. Good. We need that. Interesting start to the day. A lot of folks didn't expect to have some ice on the roads, cause some issues out there. Man, I got light issues over here too. Sorry.
Wrecks everywhere. Like every intersection I came to, I felt like there was like lights and a policeman working in a wrecker.
That's not a good way to go.
No, y'all be careful.
Jennifer drove the kids to school this morning. I offered to do it, but she's like, no, I got it.
Meaning because the roads were questionable?
Yeah, I didn't, if she wasn't comfortable with it, I didn't want to put her out there, but I really didn't want to drive her vehicle.
Hers doesn't do good on ice?
Hers is the new vehicle. So,
then you're right. You have no business. No, don't do that. Yeah.
So that I was concerned with her because then I was just going to be like, all right, well, I'm going to need extra time to get my truck ready to go because you need to get all the ice off of it.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I have a senior and a freshman, and so the older one drives. And so I had two things this morning: get up early, start the car early, leave early. And then I life 360'd them the whole way, like watching every move they make.
Oh, yeah. How did our parents do that before that?
I know, right? And here's the thing. Like, there have been times where I've been like, oh, I wonder where. No, put that down. Like, don't do that to yourself, because I don't want to become that parent that feels like I always have to know exactly where my kids are, but I battle it for sure.
Yeah. And then I don't want to know, where they're driving, and there's a lot to that. So,
right. I shouldn't know all of that. Like, that's part of growing up and being a responsible adult.
Oh boy. Oh, big words around here. Be careful. Might have to show responsibility on this show.
Cool.
All right. Speaking of the weather, here we go. Bacon in your mailbox weather forecast for today. Rain. Oh, there's an M missing there. Apparently it slid off the road. Rain be cooling heavy in the afternoon, 44.
Really? I thought we were done.
No, 34 and rain tonight, clouds and cold tomorrow, 38. Matter of fact, the rain that we get tonight could cause some flooding issues because of where, everything that's going on.
Well, it's because we've had so much lately. Everything is already the water levels are so high. So yes. So this morning, be careful from icy, especially overpasses and ramps and things like that. Tonight, be careful from heavy rain.
Yeah. Hey.
Good morning, Greg.
He's not excited.
Good morning, Carter.
Yeah. So his mom Nadia says that she's working on another one for us. She wanted to be excited.
So
good morning to Ken Helton watching this morning.
Morning, Ken.
There's Brian Dennis.
Morning, Brian.
Well, I bet his day was interesting yesterday.
Why?
They went to, I don't know, one of the two, I guess Buffalo Wild Wings or Buffalo Wings and Rings, whichever one it is. And they did that, some type of hot, spicy wing challenge thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And still alive today? Good.
I bet I know where he's watching the show from.
Oh my gosh, TMI.
What? I didn't say anything.
Oh, what? You didn't have to.
It's because you picked up on it. Doesn't mean anything.
I know. I just can't talk about it.
Hey, Shane Kretcher, Boise, Idaho.
It doesn't look like he's in Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, that's not Idaho.
That ain't Idaho.
Smokey Bear's boss. So if you were looking for a reason to celebrate today, it's Tortilla Day or Tortilla Day.
Oh, it's tortilla. Don't mess with that.
Okay. Tortilla Day, saluting the 1940s invention by Rebecca Webb Carranza. Hey, Rebecca, Becky, in Los Angeles.
Yo, Beck check.
That chick. Rather than throwing away all those misshaped tortillas from an automated tortilla machine, instead of just throwing away into the trash, she cut them into triangles, fried them, and sold them for $0.10 a bag.
Becky is brilliant.
Immediate hit, of course. Yeah. So we salute you, Rebecca.
So
Becky.
Maybe chips and salsa are the snack to have today.
I've kind of gone away from chips and salsa.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm a chips and queso guy now.
Really? Oh, I have to have my salsa.
No, are you one of those that has to have a side of the cheese dip as well?
No, well, really, I like a little bit of sour cream on top of my salsa because I like hot salsa, but I like to temper it a little. It's almost kind of like putting, I don't know, if you put something like, if you try to just like take the heat out of something, I like to take the heat out of salsa with sour cream. So I usually taste it, and if it's too hot for me, put a little sour cream in it, and I get it right where I want it every time.
Sounds like a power move to me, because when you go to the Mexican restaurant, nobody wants to eat out of the bowl that you have.
If I'm there, I'm with my family, I'm usually, I'm one of the two that are paying. Therefore, they will eat whatever is on the table. No, they all like hot. All my kids eat, and my husband eats hot salsa.
So when you go with friends, do you power move and be like, I'm sorry, I've got to have my own hot salsa so I can
I would go along. I'm a team player, Greg. And so if I'm with a group of friends or colleagues, like if you and I went, for example, I would go along with whatever you.
No, you wouldn't. You would power move. You would power move. So. Brian Dennis says Carolina Reapers is what the challenge they did.
What?
Yeah.
That's craziness.
That's nuts. Today's also World Bartender Day to appreciate the staff at your favorite watering hole. They work hard to keep you happy, and extra tips today if you head out to a place. It's also Chili Day.
Oh, I just finished off. So I made, by the way, the best recipe for white chicken chili I've ever had. I made it last weekend. It's been sitting in the crock pot in the fridge. It was more delicious last night than it was when I made it on Monday.
I agree with that with any chili.
I mean, it was delicious.
It gets an extra day to kind of figure out what it is. I like
everything in there becomes really good friends with everything else, and it just tastes better.
I agree. Totally agree. So Chili Day is observed annually on the last Thursday of February. It's a great excuse to put together a perfect pot of chili, whether you like it spicy. You've got secret ingredients that you use. You have your own recipe. We're not going to get into the discussion if chili has beans, if it has noodles.
No, it does not.
I just said we weren't going to get into that discussion because that becomes.
You don't have to say a word. I was simply just providing a little commentary.
I mean, technically, Jenna, you're a public figure as the director of tourism. Those are kind of things that will that could potentially cause harm in your career.
Do you think it will keep people from coming to visit E-Town if they know that the director of tourism doesn't think noodles belong in chili?
It can't help.
That's interesting to me.
I mean, we live in a volatile world now.
All of those people should come to town. Let me take them out for some chili, and I'll explain why.
I am again, this is just, we need a disclaimer. This opinions of those are not of our sponsor. I mean, we don't really. I've gotten to where I don't like the noodles in the chili.
Okay, so you're team smart people. That's awesome.
And I didn't say that. I just said I have.
Oh, but you did.
It's trading cards day as well. So if you're into trading cards, traditionally associated with sports, baseball
Yep.
cards, especially popular. I have a ton of those in my back room over here that aren't worth anything.
I was
But
going to
also,
say, do you have them cataloged? Are they in plastic and alphabetized and stuff?
I have some that are that way, but I have others that are still complete sets. Because I think I've mentioned this before, but my parents for
Wow.
years that was the thing. Every year at Christmas, I got
You
a
did.
complete set of baseball cards. And
Cool.
so I've still got some from the 1980s and early 90s that are wrapped in plastic.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've looked them up online. There was no wow factor
Oh.
when I looked at the
I was going to
price.
say, that's part of the vast Milby fortune.
Yeah, that was my goal originally, was retirement with that, but
Yeah.
kind of
So much
like
for
some
that.
of my crypto investments.
I was going to say, now you need to find you some Bitcoin.
Well, now Bitcoin's
Ken,
down.
that's why we're friends, my friend.
Yeah,
Ken knows.
yeah. Speaking of Ken, the other Ken's there, the bearded wonder, Ken
Hey,
Salee.
Ken.
Yeah. So, Chili Day, Trading Card Day is today. World Bartender Day is today. Tortilla Day is today.
I mean, that's a party right there. Think about all those things together. Slam dunk.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
about it. Lots of events happening this weekend that we need to talk about. One, we've got to start with one, because if we don't, then uh, a relative of yours may get a little upset.
Probably.
Needs to be number one on the list. The
Yep.
57th annual Brotherhood Charity Banquet
Yes.
take a place Pritchard Community Center Saturday.
Anything that lasts for over 50 years has got to be good stuff, don't you think?
I think, and especially the amount of money they've raised for charities. I think they have raised, was it, I think over $800,000. I think they've raised over the years.
That's incredible. And it really is such a community event. It started years ago. Will Harris and Thomas Clark came together as the Knights of Columbus and the Shrine Club, and they hold this event every year that speaks to the brotherhood, the bond between these two organizations and the work they do for COSAIR charities. And, we hear COSAIR charities sometimes because um, in our county, because we don't necessarily have a service center in our county. But the money that we raise here helps people who live here regardless of where they're getting treatment. It's not necessarily a COSAIR. That's what I'm like. The
Mm-hmm.
money that we raise here is for kids that live here regardless where they get treatment. And so it's really fun. It's a fun event.
They've got auction items. Doors going to open at 6 on Saturday. The
Yeah.
dinner is at 7. Tickets are $40 a person. And
Yep.
now I think I know that there was a mention that there was a certain number of tickets left because, they had to let the caterer know how many people. But I'm sure if
Yes.
somebody called and said, "Hey, I want to buy a table of 8 for
Yes.
$500," they're not going to turn that away.
They're not going to turn that away. Like he would send me home and make me eat leftover chili and let someone sit at my table. But like the most fun auction item there is the basket that I put together, and you're going to love this. So it's a different theme every year, and it's the Clark Family Thirsty Thursday basket. Because every Thursday we go to grandma's for happy hour. She's almost 96 years old. We still go to her house every Thursday for happy hour. But the theme for this year's basket, and everybody contributes something, is a house divided. And so half of the basket is red and half of the basket is blue. And in the middle are two boxing gloves. One of them is a cardinal, one of them is a wildcat. And everything in there is blue. So like it's like Maker's Mark, blue vodka, like we did all the fixings for your Thirsty Thursday party, color themed, and it's going to be fabulous.
Okay. And
And
there's a
you
lot
can
of
buy
other
tickets to
auction
win it.
items too.
You can buy a ticket to win it because I think the tickets are like $50, and then you pick a number, they put it on a wheel, and somebody wins it, and it's always really fun.
Good stuff. So 57th annual Brotherhood Charity Banquet this Saturday, Pritchard Community Center. As I mentioned, doors open at 6, dinner at 7. Fun time for all. And you can get more information on that. And there's a link to get those tickets at Kentucky'sHeartland.com on the community calendar page.
And you can hang out with me. I'll be there.
So a lot of the high schools are doing the drama clubs and the choirs are doing different productions. And I know last week was North Hardin. They had one. John Hardin, the choir,
Okay.
they have their production of The Wedding Singer.
Oh my gosh. I heard it was really good. It's probably got some humor woven into it as well. Can you
I'd say
imagine?
so. I'd say
Can you
so.
imagine? That'll be great.
Friday at 7, Sunday at 3, Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center. Tickets $8 for adults, $3 for students age 6 to 18. You can get more info like any other. Kentucky'sHeartland.com. Fort Knox. I love some of the different events that have happened on Fort Knox that they continue to do each and every year.
So fun.
They've got this intergalactic boat regatta.
What is that?
So they've done this for years, but I think they've thrown the intergalactic in the front of it this year. So it's at the Anderson Indoor Aquatic Center on Fort Knox. It's a challenge of craftsmanship, skills, and do-it-yourself sensibilities.
Right.
They make boats out of cardboard, duct tape, and any other household materials. And then the object is to see who can sink the slowest.
I was getting ready to say, do they fly them or float them? So the intergalactic part of that, that's interesting because it's like you're going to build a Battlestar Galactica and then try to help it swim.
Yeah. And it is fun to see. I have been numerous times to watch it. I've never participated in it. There are some that are very impressive. There are some that it's the "What Were You Thinking" award.
Yes.
But it's just a cool thing to see. So if you're not doing anything, Saturday morning it starts at 8:00 at the Anderson Indoor Aquatic Center. So
very fun.
Yeah, and if you want to put a boat in, that you've got till I think tomorrow at a specific time to register, and there's info at Kentucky'sHeartland.com.
Yeah, if you're gonna do a boat, you can't just show up. So you got to make a few little plans. If I did it, my boat would look like it had rocks in it, even if it didn't.
Yeah. There are a few that they looked good, but they didn't look good for long.
That would be me. Mine would sink to the bottom.
So that's an interesting event. Another interesting event. So Sherlock Palooza is happening at Crown Point Theater. So Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center, the PAC Pro-Ams for, I think, 5 years, might be 4, but I think they took a year off. But anyway, for the last 4 or 5 years, they have presented Sherlock Holmes, which was written and directed. These adaptations written and directed by Bart Levins, the PAC director.
Yep.
So they just wrapped up the last one, and they're now going to do a whole marathon day at Crown Point Theater of those. If you wanted to watch those, you can watch The Study in Scarlet at 11, The Sign of 4 at 1, The Hound of Baskervilles at 4, and The Valley of Fear at 7. They're going to have panel discussions in between and some other special guests too.
How cool is that here in this town?
I think it's super unique when you take, the Performing Arts Center and then you take the movie theater. It was like, yeah, sure. We'll give you a theater to play all those.
So awesome.
Yeah, Rick Roman and the guys over at Crown Point, they're pretty cool, and they like to do unique stuff.
They do.
So again, ticket information, Kentucky'sHeartland.com. And then
all the information, everything everybody ever needed to know, all they have to do is go to your website. You're welcome.
Thank you, Jana. Or touretown.com.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's there too. There's a lot of those. So another organization, it's a local organization called Girls United, #GameChanger.
Yep.
They've really kind of grabbed some footing over the last year or so. And a lot of this has to do with doing it in honor of our good friend Tanya Seabrook, who we lost way too early last year. So they're going to host this Mind and Positivity workshop at E-Town, Elizabethtown Community Technical College Saturday. It's designed to teach young girls practical ways to conquer a healthy body image and self-esteem.
Listen, your friend and mine, Holly Sexton, she had a Facebook post the other day that said, how many of you all have those friends that every time you see them, when you leave, you feel better than before you saw them? Or I'm putting words in the mouth, whatever it was. But I was like, first of all, she got the appropriate reaction to that, because to me, she's that person. She always makes people she always leaves the conversation better than that person was when it started. She's really good at doing that. And her being part of this organization, she and Megan Stith, they
Mm-hmm.
practice what they preach. They bring people together that are really part of that movement locally, and they are making a tremendous difference in the girls in this community, from middle school to high school, and new entrepreneurs, the gamut. So please give that some cred. And if you don't have anyone that wants to go or that can go, tell some friends and neighbors and share their information, because it is phenomenal and very important.
And they do, what I love about it, it is not the northern end of the county, the southern end of the county separate.
Right.
I mean, there's a group that work together to do this. They put on other events. What I think is really cool. Well, one, it's at ECTC's RPC building. It's going to be in 210, which is the second floor. Again, that info, KentuckyStartland.com. They're doing 3 different sessions because different ages of girls. 9 to 12 is at 10 a.m. Then at 11 a.m., girls 13 to 15. And a noon session for girls 16 and up. Free refreshments,
so elementary school,
giveaways.
middle school, high school, pretty much.
Because there are 3 totally different conversations there.
Yep. And I've participated. I've sat and kind of done mentoring with girls at my table at one of the events that they had. And you would be blown away about how inquisitive, intelligent, and creative these girls are. They just don't know exactly what to do with it yet. But it is so there, and our community is super pumped at how amazing this group of girls are.
Another event that's happening, and we're not really promoting it because I think it's too late to get signed up unless you want to check with your youth group at church. But Disciples Now, D Now, is happening this weekend.
Oh.
It is a massive gathering of youth groups from all around our region. They gather at, I think there are 3 different churches that they're gathering at because it's grown so much that one church can't handle it.
Yes.
So Severance Valley is hosting so many churches, and then a couple of others. What I'm excited about, we attend Grace Heartland Church. What I'm excited about is the number of kids that are attending is a lot more than they expected.
Love it.
It is a fun event. Now, our friends, Eric and Joe, are going to be, I think they're doing a little bit of the MC work remotely type thing, based on stuff I'm hearing in the office. It's tomfoolery, of course.
Sorry, kids. Yeah.
But the Milby House is going to be a hot spot. We're a host house for some of the high school boys.
Look out.
Whew.
You might want to call your neighbor Shirley and warn her. But listen, here's the case too, because they do a lot of fun events. And so you may see these groups of kids because they go out into the community, whether sometimes they do scavenger hunts, they do cleanup, there may be a Chinese fire drill in your neighborhood. Rest assured, they are being supervised, but they're having so much fun and learning a lot along the way.
Yeah. And it is, these kids, they're on fire.
Yeah.
By the end of the weekend. And hopefully it changes some of those kids' lives, and it just gives them a reset with everything that's going on in our world, everything that's going on in their community. It's good for them to have a time to control alt and reset.
Yep. And hey, parents, you better plan an early Sunday dinner because they crash Sunday afternoon about 6, and you won't see them again until Monday.
Yeah. And so I was we were looking at the agenda. And so before they go back on Saturday morning, we get them Friday night.
It's Friday. Okay.
Yeah. So it's Friday all day Saturday, and then Saturday night they leave. So Friday, we get them all night, and then we have to feed them on Saturday morning before we take them back over to the thing. Nobody told me I was feeding high school boys. I need to know if that's a tax write-off, because I haven't really figured out exactly what I'm going to do with that. Maybe a trip to Amazing Glazed and Donuts.
You're going to feed them pancakes and bacon. Duh.
That was in the discussion.
Okay. That's my vote. What time should I be there?
Come on over. Ladies and gentlemen, special treat this morning. The goddess of tourism in Elizabethtown is here to bless her with her presence. And now the goddess of tourism, and you could, do a big spiel you do
Stop.
about tourism,
Oh, stop.
that kind of stuff.
Oh, stop.
So there's that. There's a lot of things going on.
I mean, it is, we're trying to bring on spring. We're trying to get back out there. Everybody is seeing lots of activity, churches, schools, community groups. Take advantage of it, be safe, and be really, really nice to the people that you encounter along the way, because our workforce is still struggling a little bit. So when you're out and about, one person may be doing the work of three at church or at a theater or at a restaurant. So just be really nice.
Just put your happy face on, smile, and just be fine with it.
Just go with the flow. You're not in a hurry.
About.
You're all fine.
So do you guys, are you an going out person or a hanging around the house person? I know at one point you and Mitch were like, yo, hey, let's roll up the flywheel for a little bit, or let's roll here. Yeah. Have you guys converted?
Both. No, I'm both. I need my going out time, but then I also sometimes just need to Netflix and chill.
So staying in apparently is the new going out.
Yeah. Okay.
This, according to a new survey by adults, apparently we don't feel like doing anything on the weekends.
Oh, see, I want to do stuff, but I think I'm at that age too where I don't want to be out driving. I don't want to be out late. I can't see at night. Oh, that was horrible. But I'm like, oh, let's get together, but just come to our house. Just come over to our house. We'll play cards, watch football, watch a game, hang out a little. And so I want to do stuff, but I do go out less.
71% of us say we like it when plans are canceled so we can just stay in.
Nope, that's not me.
I am that way. On a Saturday night, if you tell me that I've got nothing going on, most likely earlier in the day, I've spent my time doing my chores, making sure the basement is clean.
Right.
I want to just sit back in the recliner and just look around and enjoy my work.
Yeah. Play with the dog.
Watch a little TV. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch a documentary.
Oh.
Oh, have you watched the History Channel's documentary on Abe Lincoln?
No.
Good stuff.
That's really horrible for the tourism. Way to put me on the spot, Greg.
It's not because they don't mention us.
Oh, of course not.
Because the very beginning, you would think they would start at Abe Lincoln's birth.
No.
But no, they start in Illinois at age 5.
Right. Okay. Well, we know where he was before that.
Mm-hmm.
The royal we in this community.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm staying at home, watching a documentary, doing something like that. 38% said they also like to be homebodies all the time. No plans at all. Nothing to even get canceled. They would just much rather spend the weekend at home, reading a book, binge watching TV, doing something like that.
I think I learned during the pandemic that that's not the way I really find happiness and joy. Like, I need socialization and interaction, but some people may have enjoyed that, and so they may be carrying that over a little.
Yeah. So Jennifer telecommutes and has telecommuted for, 14 years.
Yeah.
So she spends all week in the house. So she wants to go out somewhere.
Yep.
Now, even during the pandemic, I did spend quite a bit of time here in the home studio. But my brain is functioning on different creative things. And I would much rather just sit at home and not have to do anything.
Yeah. You need the downshift. You need to rest. I mean, you're not getting any younger.
says the woman that claims I don't go out at night because I can't see.
Well, I had LASIK a few years ago and I can see, but I can't really see at night. And it has nothing to do with age.
Okay, sure. I heard blah, 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 blah,
everything
blah.
to do with age.
It has everything to do with age.
I don't drive at night unless I absolutely have to.
No,
if you need me, if you have an emergency and you need me, I'm going to need it to be when the sun is up.
Well, I just moved you down my emergency contact list, about 5.
Probably
based on that, because
probably not a bad idea.
I mean, if I need that at night, Jana's way down here now.
Yeah, Mitch has you, not
way
Jana.
Down here.
Yeah.
So, are you staying physically active? Are you getting out, exercising?
So I would more if I could keep the weather above 50, 40 below.
You know what we need to take up?
What?
Pickleball.
Oh, yeah, I love pickleball. I'm not very good at it. Have you
Um,
played?
I have played one time.
It's fun.
It's hard to find a place though. I know Bluegrass Sportsplex.
They do.
They have a pickleball. Well, that's weird, hard to say. They have a pickleball day.
Yes. E-Town Swim also does.
Mm-hmm. And then you had those
then,
outdoor court there at Freeman Lake.
yes, that's what I was going to say. That's all I'm aware of.
Fastest growing sport in the United States, pickleball.
I know.
For those that aren't familiar, it is a cross between tennis, ping pong, and badminton.
True.
Played with a paddle.
That is a great description, actually.
It is
Because
a more.
it's a smaller court. You do hit a ball over the net, but it's not as the court isn't nearly as big as tennis. So there's less running, but there is some coordination involved. That's a great description.
Mm-hmm. Ken says he's got a friend on YouTube that is huge into pickleball. And the other Ken says Sportsplex pickleball all day Wednesday. Wednesday nights, it's packed.
Fun. Love it.
Yeah, but you can't get in, you know?
Well, you just got to work it. You got to meet the right people, get yourself scheduled, plan ahead. That's the problem.
Yeah. That's the reason I'm getting fat, because I can't get in there.
We could play some pickleball in the driveway if we really wanted to.
Yeah. You can order one of those nets.
Yeah. I mean, it's what neighborhood roads are for.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, oh my gosh, we used to play baseball in the streets.
Oh, for sure. Car. Yeah.
And nobody said anything about us painting bases on the street.
I know.
Could you imagine if that happened now? If I went out here in front of my house and put like painted bases on the street?
You could do it with chalk, I guess.
That's not how we did it back in the day. Now you're starting to
And
tell me.
we would just use whatever, like can, empty bag, like wherever it was, that was the base. We didn't even move them. We were like, oh, there's the base, there's the base, there's the base. That's how free flowing we were, you know?
Yeah, we loaded it up. I remember one of the biggest controversies in our little neighborhood was the alteration of bats.
Oh.
Nobody really knew. Nobody really knew.
Yeah.
We didn't have money to spend on the research to know if it actually made the tennis ball go further.
Right.
But sawing off the end of the aluminum bat
Fascinating.
was a super controversy.
Wow.
And then taking that rubber piece off the end of the bat and putting other tennis balls in the bat.
Yep.
And putting the cap back on. Another controversy.
So sneaky. Wow, at a young age.
I didn't say I did that.
Oh, no, of course you didn't. I'm so sorry that I assumed that you may have been involved in that.
I'm an all natural talent. I didn't need any of those enhancements.
Shame on me. Our biggest controversy was always what really is the out of bounds or over the fence line, because it changed depending on who was playing in the game. Like you'd be playing one game and on the other side of the ditch was out over the fence. But you turn that game around and you play it on the other side with other kids and your rules are different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours were off the house.
Oh, yeah.
It had to come off the roof. If it hit the side of the house, that's not a home run. That's off the wall.
Interesting. What if you broke a window?
If.
When?
There were a couple of wins in that situation over the years. But
so I live in a house that one had on like the side of our garage is siding, and the siding has a couple of dents in it. And I have kids that have practiced baseball and lacrosse both on that side of my yard. And when you go like, wonder what happened there? That's about the size of a ball. My kids just look to the ground, and all of a sudden they're nowhere to be found. Huh.
But you're okay with that as a mother, right?
I guess. Whatever.
Based on stuff that we did growing up. My gosh.
I know.
I mean, Next thing you know, you're going to be talking about not being able to see at night when you're driving. Like a fuddy-duddy over here. Hey,
Touche.
David Haynes says mountain bike. Got to get out
Yeah.
there. I agree. I got to find me a mountain bike. I want a mountain bike, and they're just a good quality one is not easy to find right now. Now,
Well,
before somebody
hopefully that
starts
will
sitting,
catch up. Hopefully that supply chain will be catching up this spring. I hope so. They say it's supposed to.
because we got oh man, I mean, the green space trails, perfect for you to go out and ride on, and Buffalo Lake. I wish I had a graphic queued up because June at Buffalo Lake, I believe it's June the 11th, there is going to be a mountain bike race, a trail race, and a duathlon. Have you ever heard of a duathlon?
Is that like 2 instead of 3? Like duathlon instead of triathlon?
It is, but it's a little different. Instead of just being a run and bike, you do a run, bike, and run.
Oh.
So technically it is like a triathlon. You're just doing 2 events.
3 phases, 2 different activities.
Yeah. David
Wow.
says he knows a guy.
Oh.
Yeah. I've seen your bikes, David Haynes.
Making connections. I like it.
Yeah. So
And then there'll be another huge bike race this fall, which we can talk about later when we get into the season, because we need to talk about that because it's going to be off the hook.
well, and this race that we're doing in June is a fundraiser for that event.
Cool.
For that team.
Cool.
So it's just great. I love the fact that we, Buffalo Lake, because was it last year? Might have been the year early last year when we all met out there on Commerce Drive with some of the folks, the organizational folks with the youth mountain bikes, and they had the dream of it being a destination. And
look what happens when smart people come together.
it is a destination, and it's going to be cool.
This show being the exception.
Yeah. So, and it will be the first in a series, which not happened in this county before.
No.
The plan is that race will be the first in a 3 series race, which will be the second will be at Saunders Springs.
Cool.
And a third will be at Fort Duffield.
Love it.
So if you don't have a mountain bike, get you a mountain bike.
Very awesome.
Because I don't think many people could potentially get hit by a car. That's what I tell people. That's why I want a mountain bike, because you've got a less chance of getting hit by a car on a trail than you do on a road.
Because it's safer.
Right.
Yeah. It's also a whole lot of fun.
So there you go. All right. Well, that's about it. I mean,
that's enough.
It's a lot going on.
Whew. Is your brain empty now? You just dumped it all out.
My brain was empty before we started. So
You
Tortilla
said it, Ray,
Day,
not me.
World Bartender Day, Trading Card Day, Chili Day. Make a good chili. No noodles for Jana, please.
No noodles.
Okay. So that's going to do it for Bacon in the Mailbox. Thursday, February the 24th, 2022. 145th show.
Woo!
It's a lot. I'm Greg Milby, community storyteller. That is Jana Clark, community fanatic. And we thank you for joining us for Bacon in Your Mailbox.
Bye, y'all.